Hey everybody, John McClain here. I apologize, I know it's been a while since I've posted a video. Between the traveling and the shooting and the working and doing the daddy thing and now getting ready to move, things have just been really hectic right now. I have to leave, or I have to move, and then right after I get done moving, I jump on a plane, fly to Florida for a week for the U.S. IPSC Nationals. So things are a little hectic right now. However, I was able to get out to the range today to do some final function firing, test firing with my pistols that I'm taking with me to Florida, and in the process, I got some footage. Now, this episode, I'm actually going to talk in reply to someone that had messaged me on one of my other YouTube videos asking how can he improve his splits. He wants to shoot faster, and while everyone wants to shoot faster, and shooting fast obviously seems like a good idea, what I'm going to break down in this video and what I'm going to show you is what is the difference between shooting fast as far as actually pulling a trigger fast, and what is the difference of just being fast in general. A lot of the times what you may find as you go to your local matches, or even when you go to the big national ones, you will feel like you've shot that stage as fast as you possibly could. You pulled the trigger as fast as you could, you ran to all the positions as fast as you could, and somehow the top guys not only shoot faster than you, or they have a better time than you, but they also have better points. So how is that possible? Because there's no way that they shot faster than you. If you're pulling 12s and 11 splits with your handgun, there's no way that they should be able to shoot faster than you. But somehow they do. And not only do they do it by a little, but sometimes it's a huge, huge difference. So while I was out today, I did get some footage, and I wanted to kind of show you a little bit of breakdown of what the difference is between pulling the trigger fast and having fast splits, or shooting fast, and then just being fast in general. And what does it mean to be fast, even though the shooting aspect, as I'm going to break down in this video here for you, the shooting aspect is actually fairly slow and controlled, but everything else is done fast, okay? And that by increasing the speed of all the other things that are not shooting related, and by shooting related I mean actually physically pulling the trigger, I hope what you take away from this video is that sometimes in order to be fast, you don't have to shoot fast. And in order to win, you don't always have to shoot fast, you just have to do everything else fast and shoot accurate. Okay, so I'm going to break down into these two videos here for you, and afterwards we'll discuss kind of a little overview recap of what we figured out in these videos. About what looks like maybe 3 Alpha, 1 Charlie. 1 Alpha, 2 Charlies, and 1 Mike. I've got 1 Alpha, 1 Charlie, 1 Delta, 1 Mike. And it looks like I got 1 Alpha, 1 Charlie, 1 Delta, 1 Mike. I got 2 Alpha, 2 Charlie, a little sloppy there, and then I have 4 Alpha here. Four Alpha, yeah, 4 Alpha, maybe 3 Alpha, 1 Charlie. Alright, now let's see if we can help make sense of what you just saw.
here are the numbers for the first two strings where I quote-unquote shot fast. First shots, nothing too impressive. Sorry, that's just not what I'm known for. However, the split times, 13s, 14s, 15s, all pretty blazing fast splits considering the target's at 12 yards. However, you can notice that the transitions are almost 3 times as long as the splits. So I'm losing a lot of time there, giving me a total time of 3:6.5 for the first run and a 3:4.2 for the second run. Now, let's go ahead and bring up the numbers from the second two runs. Now, in these runs, I actually shot slower, technically, okay? But because I transitioned a whole lot faster, as you can see here, my splits are almost twice as long as the splits compared to the first two runs. However, my transitions are almost half the time of the transitions of the other runs. So, after all said and done, the total time for the first string was a 3:8.2. Total time for the second string was a 3:4.9. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, what significance is that? Like, yes, okay, you kind of prove, but I just don't get it. Maybe not. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to post up the numbers for the first run and the third run. So you're going to have the fast run on the left and then the slow shooting run on the right here. Okay, we're going to switch these numbers up real quick. Here we go. All right, first shot, 140, 138, almost dead center, okay, or dead even. Split times, obviously a lot faster. Transitions, definitely a lot slower. If you look at the final times, however, the run where I shot fast, I have 3.65, and the run where I shot slow was a 3.82. Now let's talk about the differences in hits. In the first run, I had one Charlie on the first target, and I think I had a miss on the second target. If my memory serves me correct, it's been a long day, and I'm probably a little dehydrated, so yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the next string. This is the second and fourth run. First shots, 122, 130. I'm even faster on the first run than I was the second or the fourth run with the first shots. However, after all that working of splitting the gun super fast and transitioning, because I had to find my sights after doing a double tap, I can't track my sights that fast, I ended up with a total time of 3:42 for the second run, but a 3:49 for the fourth run. So I was shooting slower, and yet somehow I'm almost exactly the same time. And let's talk about the hits again. We had a miss on the first target, miss on the second target when I was shooting fast, and yet I had pretty much all alphas on the last run.
Okay, well there you go. Again, the concept of shooting fast is always going to be there. And you're always going to have to battle it, but take into consideration what exactly is it that necessarily needs to be done. You know, a target at 3 yards, yeah, you can throw a 10 split on that target and be okay with 2 alphas or Alpha Charlie because it's a 3-yard target. That's pretty easy to hit consistently. But once you start putting those targets out to 12 yards, 15 yards, 30 yards, the actual act of shooting needs to come down to where you can guarantee your hits, but you're still going to proceed to do all the other skills fast, okay? Drawing your gun fast, reloads, movements, transitions, okay? All of these things, when you just take fractions of seconds off of them, by the time you're finished with the stage, you can essentially be saving yourself a lot of time, okay? And this is how a lot of people will find that they're getting beat consistently and they can't figure out why. All right, so understand, I hope you're able to grasp this concept, that the actual act of shooting is not very fast, okay? I mean, it is fast. Let's be honest. We're processing information in we're talking about, you know, 0.15, 0.20 of a second. That is fast, but it's slower than just throwing 2 rounds as fast as you can and hoping that you get lucky. All right, I've shot both ways. When I was younger and new to the sport, that's how I shot. Anyone will tell you. I was one of the fastest shooters ever, man. I had some blazing times, but my points were never there. And most of the time, I ended up having so many penalties that I would have been better off shooting the stage 8 seconds slower because I would have ended up still doing better. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about this video. While shooting fast is a good thing, and sometimes it's even fun to do circus tricks, you know. Empty gun start, load the gun, rack it, and shoot 6 rounds at a target in under 2 seconds. It's a fun circus trick to do. But in reality, it's not something that you really want to focus on. What you do want to focus on is setting these targets out at these different distances and really figuring out how fast can you pull the trigger and still guarantee your hits. So again, a target at 5 yards, you can probably throw like an 11-12 split on that and get your hits guaranteed 99.9% of the time. Once you push it out to 10 yards, maybe your split needs to come down to like an 18. And then you push it out to 25 yards. Now that split needs to be like a 2.5. Then you push it out to, the further you push it out, obviously, we're going to increase the split time from shot to shot to ensure that the sights are aligned correctly. And then we do a good solid trigger press straight to the rear without disturbing the sights. That's information that you're actually going to have to go out and test and practice and really gauge yourself and see where you're at. And where you're going to translate that into your match settings is that now you know when you're walking through a stage and you're looking at the distance of targets or whether or not they're partial targets, a no-shoot that's covering up half the target at 10 yards. Maybe you want to give that target the respect or the same split time as like a 15-yard target. Maybe, depending on, obviously your skill set. But those kind of concepts. If you can look at a target and walk through a stage, you should be able to almost guess what you're supposed to be able to shoot that stage in. You calculate your draw time, you calculate movement, you calculate the split times and the transitions for these targets. You can look at a 3-yard target followed by a 10-yard target, followed by an 8-yard target, followed by a 20-yard target and be able to go. Okay, 8-yard target's going to be a 13 split for me. Then the 10-yard target is going to be an 18 split. And then the 8-yard target or whatever it is that I said is going to be faster. And then the farther target is going to be a little bit slower. I mean, doing that kind of math is where you really kind of start to figure out how to properly work that throttle like I've discussed before. Okay, on smaller, more difficult targets, we're going to take a little bit more time, make sure that our sights are properly aligned on target, and we're going to prep the trigger, and then we're going to follow through without disturbing the sights. Whereas a closer target, the sights don't necessarily need to be perfect, and the trigger can be a little sloppy because, they're so close, right? So once you start incorporating that kind of training into your practice sessions, and you can gauge yourself as to say, I can consistently get 2 alphas at 25 yards if I shoot somewhere between like a 3.3 split. First shot, second shot, 0.3 split. I can almost always guarantee that I get 2 alphas on there. That's where your standard is. That's where your level is. And from there, you're going to build. Okay, the process from then is then to just get more comfortable with trying to push yourself to see your sights a little bit faster, to prep your trigger a little sooner, and then to break that shot, or to break that trigger pull, perfect trigger pull, a little bit faster. And by a little bit faster, I mean if you're doing 0.30 splits at 25 yards, if that's your baseline, okay, then a 0.29 is faster, and then a 0.28 is faster. It doesn't have to be these leaps and bounds. You don't have to go from a 0.30 split to a 0.20 split. You don't have to, okay? Because again, when you take all these little fractions of seconds, and then you take in the fact that in a 30-round course of fire, that means you're pulling the trigger 30 times. If you can shave half a tenth off of 30 rounds, and you can do that for 12 stages over 3 days, you've increased your time fairly significantly, okay? So, I hope you found this video informational. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Next time you see me, I'll probably either be at a match or in a different house or something. I don't know. Maybe it'll be on the range. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like to hear me talk about or hear me discuss or maybe demonstrate, feel free to drop some replies onto this video or any of my videos. I see them all. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter if you do all that kind of stuff. So again, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the range.